Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelt, hold on tight. You're in for one incredibly awesome and super cool ride tonight on the Josh Nolan Full Throttle Racing. Josh Nolan and Oliver Schultz Full Throttle Racing Show, hashtag one on YouTube. So with us tonight, we have Amanda Schultz. Welcome to the show, Miss Amanda.
Thanks.
Oliver, you want to introduce yourself? Come on in and introduce yourself there.
Alrighty, my name is Oliver Schultz. This is my first time ever co-hosting, but I'm excited to do this with you, and I'm excited for what's to come.
Okay, Amanda, you there?
I am.
Okay, so did you get a chance to meet Oliver just a second ago then?
I did.
Yes. So, Amanda, let's talk about your racing career. Where did this incredibly awesome journey begin for you?
Well, this year has been a roller coaster. I went to Penn Can Speedway on Friday nights, and then I went to Thunder Mountain Speedway on Saturday nights.
Okay. So, Oliver, you want to chime in on this one? I'll let you ask a question now.
I know there's one I asked last time I co-hosted, and so how'd you get into racing? Like, did you have family members, or what? How'd you get introduced into the sport?
So I do have a lot of family that is into racing. My fiance races, my son races. We're just one big happy racing family. I've been at the races since I was a little girl. I've been racing myself for 4 years now. So
Yeah, I think it's cool to see. I mean, I know I've heard stories at my local racetrack. I race uh small track go-karts on dirt, and I know I've always heard stories of how people got into the sport. I mean, it's either here in their local track in the background. I know we've got a local pavement track, and people always hear the cars, and that's actually how they get introduced into the sport. So I think it's always cool to see how people get into racing.
yep, I honestly started out at Chemung, watching friends and families asphalt, and then I had an uncle race dirt, and then my fiance races mods, and then I race sportsman. My son races go-karts. So we're at the races every weekend. It's actually really nice.
Yeah. I trying to think of another question. Well, I guess I don't know what number are you, and how'd you pick your number?
So I am 88A. So it's kind of weird. I've always been 24. My number the last 3 years have been 88A. My husband's 80, or my fiance is 88. We are the 88 team. So with me being Amanda, the A just fit in great. So he's 88 and I'm 88A. So
Yeah, that's
works out. Works out good.
Sorry. I know I'm number 77. I know there's always kind of I mean, the way I came up with my number is my dad's two buddies. He used to race street stocks, but he wasn't very good at it. He liked to hit the tire a lot on the infield, not on purpose, but and his two buddies are 07 and 7, and I wasn't gonna, obviously you can't go much farther from 7 than that, so I picked 77. So it's always cool to see how people find their numbers and how they pick them out. But Josh, you got any questions?
Yeah. Amanda, so do you have a racing nickname?
Probably Turtle. I honestly don't. I don't. Do you have a nickname for me? Besides Turtle? Um, I don't. Like I said, I just started out in sportsman about 3 years ago. I wasn't the best. I'm getting a little bit better each year. This year was probably my best year. I got second in points at Penn Can and got third in points at Thunder Mountain. So this is honestly my best year. So probably, not no best female racer, but I'm definitely getting there.
Okay, Oliver, you have a question now?
One question I kind of was trying to think of ones, but you were asking yours. Um, what would you say your racing mentor is, or really any mentor that kind of like, I don't know, just any mentor?
That's hard.
Alrighty.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know.
Well,
That's
I guess not everybody has mentors. I know I didn't pick my mentor till I was probably I'm 13, basically 14 now, but I didn't get mine till I was probably 12. So um obviously I'm still pretty young, but it kind of took me a while to figure out mine. But I'm trying to think of another question. Do you have, so what would you say like your plans are moving into the future? Obviously you're getting pretty good at the sportsman class, and like points wise and stuff like that. So where do you think you see yourself moving up, or if you do want to move up?
so 2024, I think I'm going to stick with the sportsman. We're gonna run probably Thunder Mountain Speedway next year. Gonna run with the big dogs next year with the boys. I think that's where my home track's gonna be, is Thunder Mountain Speedway.
Yeah, I know. I kind of have been working my way up the, almost you could say like the ranks of dirt racing. I'm moving up to sportsman, not sportsman, sport mods or B mods next year. So I I don't know. I think it's cool to hear where people see themselves going and stuff like that, and how they can achieve their goals. And I hope you do well in the next 5 years or so of your racing career.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. It's definitely getting better, honestly. Like I said, it's definitely a lot harder than what it looks. People think it's easy to jump in it and go, and it's definitely not. Um, it's definitely taken me a lot harder to go. So,
Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling a little bit more comfortable. Um, I'm, feeling more comfortable with the car, and I think next year is going to be better. So,
So,
Yeah.
Amanda, go ahead, Oliver.
Go, Josh.
So, Amanda, when you're strapped into your race car, what helps get you psyched up and motivated to go out there and race?
what just gets me pumped up and ready?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just ready. Um, when I'm like strapped in and I'm in lineup, I'm just focused and ready to go.
Okay. I'll tell you what, Oliver. I see there's a sign behind your race car that says Oliver, and I think she's one of your big fans with that sign Oliver behind you.
Next, I think it's one right behind me. So
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yes, I got the same one.
that's actually kind of coincidence. That's kind of funny. But I was gonna ask, one of my questions I kind of thought up is, what would you say one of your big things that you've learned through racing?
So one of the things that I have learned a lot in probably the last year, with the racing, I used to race the mini stocks, it's a big jump, running with cars. So when a car got on the side of me, I would back out. Just feeling comfortable running with a car, not backing away, and actually being competitive with another car.
Mhm.
That would be probably my best.
Yeah, and I think I know I've heard people move on to, because a big thing around here is people go from go-karts to B mods right away. And I know the big thing that
Yeah,
people tell me is just learning to run with people, and like, because obviously in a cart you kind of know where, like, you don't really have much, especially because a big thing around here is like you're really leaned back all the way down to your bumper, so it's really, you kind of know your surroundings. But once you hop in, it's kind of it's so hard to gauge, especially obviously it's not asphalt, so you don't have mirrors or anything like that. So it's so
right.
it takes a lot of getting used to. I, at least I've been told. I don't know personally, but just running with people and not being afraid that you're going to hit them or something like that. But let me think of another question.
One thing
Uh,
about it, Oliver, one thing you may not know is the sportsman she runs, they sit right dead center like they do in a sprint car. They sit right in the center of the car.
oh, kind of like a big block modified or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I'm dead center in the middle. So like
Jeez,
when we're going in, like there's no checking to see who's behind me or who's in the side of me or so.
yeah, you're just
So
kind
like
of,
that's the biggest thing is trying to figure out like who's on the side of me, who's, you know,
yeah.
just trying
Uh,
to feel comfortable. Like, yeah, basically that's the same chassis as a modified, um, sportsman modified.
so who would you say? My next question now. Who would you say is like the person? I don't know if it's you, or who would you say is the person that always is working on the cars and the pits and stuff like that, or at home? Like who's the one that gets your car ready?
So honestly, my fiance is my number one. He does absolutely everything from the changing tire to nut and bolts to putting air in the tire to washing the car to waxing the car. He does absolutely everything. I literally show up on Friday nights, get in the car and drive. Um, I don't do anything. I take care of the kids and I show up in a race. He does everything. He works on them, he washes them, he does everything. I don't do anything. So he is honestly my number one. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be racing.
Yeah, I know that's kind of how it was for me my first couple of years of karting, as I just kind of let my dad do everything. But I think once I don't know if you have any interest in it, but I think once I kind of got into it and stuff, like started learning the car and stuff like that, I think I almost developed like a curiosity of like, how is it make, like what adjustments are we doing to make me faster? How is me being loose, what are we changing to help me?
So I'm getting a little bit better. Like I can do my own, tire pressures. I ask a little bit of questions here and there, how do I make myself tight or loose or, what can I do to make, this better? Um, but for anything else, he is my go person. He does everything.
Yeah. But moving on to Josh. Josh, you got any questions?
Yeah. So Amanda, when you're out there racing and you're going around the track, what what is the worst thing you've had happen to you as a race car driver?
What is the worst thing that's happened to me?
Yes.
Ooh, so last year, I caught on fire.
2 years ago, we had the crack.
So 2 years ago, I went to turn 3 and 4, and it was a little dusty. I didn't see a black car. Hit a black car. Hit him full throttle. That was hard. That was bad. This year, I went into turn 3 and 4, and a car in front of me lost the rear bearings and the rear axle, and I caught on fire. I landed on my fire suit and caught my fire suit on fire. So I think that was honestly the worst that's ever happened to me so far. Knock on some sheet metal. That's basically the only thing that's really happened to me so far.
Okay, Oliver, you can ask now a question.
I keep asking questions. I'm running out of them. So did you like growing up and stuff like that? What sports did you play?
Growing up as a kid,
Yeah,
I played football.
yeah. I actually I played football since I'm in 8th grade now, but I played football since 5K. So I'm definitely one that definitely understands the game of football. But
Yeah, I played football until I was a freshman. And then
yeah, I'm trying to think of another question. Josh, you got any questions while I think of one?
Yeah, I do. So Amanda, who do you have for sponsors on your race car?
oh, my sponsors. So I have Sleepy Hollow. I have Auto Plus. I have Fresh Chassis. I have Nate Shea Auto Parts. I have Pops maple syrup, Sugar Shack, if I could talk. I'm probably missing a whole bunch, ain't I? Yes, Dad. AB Tent Reynolds. Julie, Homer. Yeah, I think that's about it. Mom.
Okay, okay. So Oliver, do you have a question on her sponsors at all?
Do you have like a specific like sponsor that like helps you out like the most, that's always kind of like been there to help you guys and help keep racing thing? Because I know a big thing with my sponsors is there's a lot of times there's always that like one or two who really kind of stick there and kind of help us stick in the sport. Obviously it's not a cheap sport, so
Honestly, I have quite a few sponsors. I have like 3 sponsors that help me throughout the season. Nate Shea Auto Sales, Sleepy Hollow, Alan, my family. They're my very top big ones. They help me, my crew. If it wasn't for them, I mean, we wouldn't be racing. They're there every single week. If we ever need anything, I mean, we call, they're always a phone call away.
yeah. Sorry, I having some technical difficulties, but um um uh Josh, you got anything else?
So Amanda, are you still looking for sponsors for your racing team?
Oh yeah, we're always looking for sponsors. We got 2 nice, hot rods here that we go to the track with. We're always looking for sponsors. We got some nice sponsors, but yeah, we're always looking for sponsors.
So, in order to kind of help you out a little bit, Amanda, me and Oliver like to kind of throw a little something at you here. If there's anybody out here going to be watching this racing show with us and Amanda Schultz, reach out to Amanda and her racing team because she'd appreciate the sponsors as she gets further into her racing career. You're gonna,
What? Sorry, you kind of broke out there. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I says, Amanda, with your racing career, we would like to help you out a little bit. If there's anybody out here watching this racing show with Amanda Schultz and us, if you guys would like to help her out, reach out to Amanda Schultz and her racing team because she'd appreciate the sponsorship on her race car. She gets further into her racing career.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So Oliver, I'm gonna let you fire a question at her now.
Um, um, uh, sorry, I'm trying to. I'm kind of new to this, so I'm trying to think of another question. What would you say, like growing up with school and stuff like that? What would you say your favorite subject was?
My favorite subject. My favorite subject was math.
I would have to say the same. I'm a pretty I've just always kind of been good at math, so I like it. But
Math and gym are my favorite.
yeah. But let me try to think of another one. What would you say your favorite, like I know I see some like pink and blue on your car, but what would you say your favorite color is?
My favorite color is purple. My race car is a very nice shade of blue, pink, and purple.
Yeah.
So yeah, so purple is my favorite color.
But Josh, I'm gonna kind of head it back to you.
Okay. So one question me and Oliver have been passing back and around between us when I interview Oliver, Amanda, is when you're at the racetrack, what's your favorite thing to eat at the racetrack?
Ooh, what's my favorite thing to eat? Mozzarella
Yeah.
sticks.
Ooh. Now,
And they have
now
to be nice and greasy. Like I like them cheesy, greasy, like that. I don't like them dried up, and I like them cheesy and greasy.
So Oliver, do you like a mozzarella stick once in a while?
Well, I'm actually lactose intolerant, so I can't have mozzarella.
Oh, I did not know that. I did not know that.
But yeah. Let me try and think of another question. What would you say if, like, when you have like a downtime at the racetrack or something like that, where it's either like a light sprinkle or something like that? What would you say is like a hobby or something that you do to kind of to pass the time?
Oh, so there really isn't much downtime. Um, I'm always walking around doing something, talking to somebody. We're always doing something. Talking. Yeah, there's never a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
So,
But
So Amanda, okay, when you're away from the racetrack, what is your favorite restaurant to hit up?
Texas Roadhouse.
Okay, I agree with you there. How about that, Oliver? You a Texas Roadhouse person too?
um, I've actually only been to Texas Roadhouse one time, so I don't really know how I feel about it yet. Um, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of more of a. I mean, obviously, us in Wisconsin, we're definitely known for like our bars and stuff like that. So I would say some of my like local kind of like bar restaurant places. I like their really like their homemade pizzas, stuff like that. I feel like they always find a way to. They're all different, but they all taste amazing.
Amanda, when you're at home, what's your favorite home cooked meal that you guys like to cook?
Ooh. So when I'm home, probably pasta. I'm big on
Mm,
pasta.
I kind of like pasta myself. Oliver, do you like pasta?
Yeah, I definitely I like pasta. Obviously, I play football, so right after football practice, I'm either eating mac and cheese or spaghetti or something pasta like. So I'm definitely a big fan of pasta.
Okay, Oliver, do you have a question
Yeah,
for
and
her?
the weather's changing, so it's getting colder. So yeah, so definitely, yeah.
Um, Another question. I would say, would you say you ever had a moment at the racetrack where, I don't know, you kind of went out to the racetrack and you kind of had that person like you wanted to beat, that like I know I've had times where like there's a guy that just keeps on beating me, and like and I just want to go out there and my main goal is just go out there, not race him dirty, but I want to beat him.
So yeah, so it's funny that you say that. So yeah, yeah, how do I say this? Um, there is there is I don't even know how to say this. Um, I am very hot-headed. I am a redhead. My temper is bad. I try to keep my temper cool. Um, I the nicest, sweetest girl possible. But sometimes I do get a little hot-headed. But when you get beat by the same person over and over and over, it does kind of get a little tiring. Um, and you do get a little frustrated. Um, but I did run the rookie class. Um, we ran what? The first half of the season before they canceled it. And I got beat every single week. The guy was just unbelievable, untouchable. So you kind of, after a while, it kind of gets a little frustrated. Um, so yeah, I definitely can tell you it does get a little frustrated. But running with the bigger guys, um, it was a lot more better. Being able to be more competitive, being able to keep up with them, not, being feeling like I can't keep up or I can't.
Yeah. And I know a big point in my like I kind of I got had a point where at the beginning of the season kind of where I kind of would beat myself before I got out there, and I think a big thing like I think people don't realize too, being a race car or just a driver is just you can't get in your head, and I think that's with every
That
sport
is
is.
honestly the biggest thing. And I totally vouch you on that. Like to try to like just keep your head clear. Like just go out there and just race your laps, and everybody tells me that. Just go out there and just practice. It may not be practice, but just go out there and just pretend like it's just your laps. Like just go out there, clean mind, just go out there and just have fun.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times you just kind of forget about that, like, but
Yeah,
Okay,
I know the oh sorry Josh, but
go ahead, Oliver. Go ahead.
Uh, I know there's definitely been times where I think you kind of get almost too intense, and it just kind of it turns out to be not really fun anymore, and I think it just kind of ruins you on the track. But I know a big refresher for me was I went out against my crew chief, and we raced against each other, and this is a guy that's won multiple championships at all the tracks in the area, and I went out and beat him. like hasn't raced in a while, but I went out and beat him, and a big reason behind that was I just wasn't in my head. I just wanted to go out there, and I was just having fun. I was smiling the entire time, and I think that's a big part of it is you just can't think, you know.
Right. Yep. That's honestly the biggest thing. Just having your mind clear and just not having it too big. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
So Amanda,
But
who are some of your friends at the racetrack?
oh, so my friends. I do have a lot of friends at the track. There's a lot of the drivers that I do talk to. Um, friends and family and my kids. My kids are my biggest fans.
Okay, Oliver, you got another question for her?
I'm all kind of all other questions, Josh.
So, Amanda, while I've got you here, I'm going to ask you a question, and this pertains to both me and Oliver. Do you have
Okay.
any advice out there for the kids like Oliver and everybody else out there in the racing world? Do you have some advice for them?
For racing,
Yes.
honestly, if you want to do it, get in it and do it. I mean, people say, don't do it or it's too expensive, it's too hard. My son races go-karts. He said for the longest time he couldn't do it. Don't do it. He's did it and he's living his happiest, best life. Um, I say if you're gonna have fun, do it. You may not win every single race, but you know what? Go out and just have fun. You may not win, you may get lapped. Just go out there and have fun. And that's what I'm doing. I don't win every race. I may finish in the back, I may finish somewhat up front, but I go out, I have fun, I finish, and I have a smile on my face, and that's all that matters.
So, Oliver, do you have anything you want to say?
Um, sorry. Um, I would say, kind of like a man. This isn't really a question, but just me kind of speaking as I think a big thing around here, and one thing that I know I talked to Josh about it, and is that I want to get people in the sport. And I think it's almost you kind of like, especially around here. I don't know if it's the same in your area, but with kids, it's kind of you have to be born into a family of it to really like it. You know, it's kind of more of a especially around here people just say, oh, it's just something hillbillies do. You can just go out there and you just do it for like, you're just kind of like driving out there dumb. You're not really like trying very much or anything like that. And I think a big thing is if you are like, if you get into like a mechanics class or something like that, and it turns out you like cars and racing and stuff like kind of like have hit at the topic, but don't really like know if you want to get into it, just go and do it. I know I went out there and I just kind of thought it was just I remember growing up, my dad used to, like would drive the street truck, and I remember he would put in neutral, we'd be pushing it down the trailer, and I just remember going down there and helping him push it and stuff like that. And I didn't really know the concept behind racing until you go out there and race, and you realize that there's so much more about racing and so much more connected. I mean, I can't even begin to name all the people that I've met, and like just how many connections I've made through racing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what I said. Like when I first started, you know what I mean? I'm not, the best. But when I first started, like I was like, I can't do this. Like I don't want to do this. And I didn't give up. And like I said, this is my third year, and I love it. Like I'm not the best, but I go out, I have fun. My kids, my family, my, you know, we all do it. We thrive at it. Um, we just got to put your heart into it, like we don't give up. We are there every weekend. This is what we love. And that's the biggest thing, is just trying to get kids more involved in the pits and, around the cars, and letting them know, like, they can do it and not to give up.
So, Amanda, do you have a question for both me and Oliver now? We're going to turn the mic over to you.
Oh. So have you raced? So Oliver races. So have you been behind
I have not. I have driven a go-kart at an amusement park, but that's as far as it's gotten.
So do you want to drive a big car? Like in the near future?
I would love to. I would love to. If Oliver would ever give me the opportunity to drive his modified, hands down, Josh would get behind the wheel and go for a ride.
Well, I'll tell you what, this, Josh, if I ever take a trip down to Iowa by you, I'll consider letting you take a few practice laps.
Okay.
There you go.
Do you have any more questions for us, Amanda?
I don't think I do.
So, with that being said, Amanda, we would like to thank you for being on our racing show tonight, talking to us about your racing career. Do you have a racing page that the racing fans can follow you on?
I do. It is Team 88.
On Facebook?
On Facebook, yes. Yep.
So, ladies and gentlemen, go hit up Team 88 on Facebook and follow Amanda Schultz and her racing team, and her fiance's racing team, because they would appreciate the followers and the fans on their racing page.
Thank you.
So, Amanda, I will let you step out. We will call you a little bit and thank you in person here shortly. So, yes, I'm definitely. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, I'll let you step out, Amanda.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Josh Nolan and Oliver Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube, with our guest Amanda Schultz tonight on the racing show. So, with that being said, let's thank some sponsors. Let's thank Dirt Track Race Cars and Company, where all your diecast needs, go hit them up. They've got some pretty awesome diecasts out there. They've got the 1/64th of Doug Wolfgang. They've got 3 of his cars out there. Go hit every last one of them up. The 8, the 8D, the 29 car. Then go hit up them also for the 1/64 scale 47 car of Danny the Dude Lasowski and the Casey's General Store car and Gil Sonner. And then also go hit them up again, because they also have the 1 Nance 64 scale of Sammy Swindells also. And we would also like to thank our sponsors, New England Hemophilia Association and Manning Motorsports. So with that being said, Oliver, I want to thank you for being my co-host tonight. It's my pleasure to have you on board with us. And I have to tell you something, Oliver. I am very proud of you for what you did tonight. You are going to be an awesome co-host of mine. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. I gotta say thank you to you. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and I'm loving every second of it.
Thank you very much, Oliver. I will call you in a few minutes, and I'll talk a little bit more, and then I'll call Amanda. But Oliver, with that being said, are you ready for this, Oliver?
Yep.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Catch you later on another episode of the Josh Nolan and Oliver Schultz Full Throttle Racing Show, #1 on YouTube.